Asselmoilanen, ongelmatonta organisaatiopsykologiaa. Podcastin tarjoilee henkilöarvioinnin erikoisyritys Asselmointi Oy.
Like in most things, you can be good, bad, very good, or very bad. Mats Enlund is a three Michelin star psychometrician. He also is widely known as herkkusuu, or sweet tooth, who enjoys the best restaurants and the best psychological tests. Today we'll discuss what are the main ingredients of a good test, why is it so difficult to get the ingredients right, and why do the best chefs have so many tattoos and the best psychometricians have so few tattoos. Welcome to Asselmoilanen's kitchen, where we only use the best ingredients and the most decorated chefs. We like to say, for no reason, even the worst day in the kitchen beats a good day in the office. Welcome Mats Enlund, the psych test wizard. Juho, just the normal wizard. And my name is Matti, just an ordinary, non-magical companion to these two. So welcome, Mats.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm just immediately thinking, you're talking about the kitchen, and you just said that I don't have any tattoos. So which one of you?
Do you have tattoos?
No.
Yeah. Show us your tattoos.
No, but you just said, we're in the kitchen, right? Okay. So there must be a chef in here.
No, we're just here to eat.
Okay.
The ingredients. Yeah. Okay, so this came clear now. Nobody has tattoos.
As far as we can see, anyway.
As far as we would like to tell about tattoos. Few words. Who are you, Mats?
Well, I would like to say that I read my tattoos, but I don't have any. So let's see. Who am I? I am doctor of psychology. Started out with some other stuff than this, experimental psychology mainly, and by coincidence ended up in this industry and have been working with assessments, tests, whatever, all sides scientific around it for my whole career now, basically.
And you do like restaurants, don't you? So why don't you share us a few sort of good recommendations in Oslo, for example? For
oh, really? Okay. Really? Well, actually, here is the point where I can't say there are none, because there are obviously some good ones. I don't frequent them that very often, though, because it's Oslo at the end of the day, right? Let's see. So you want me to kind of, is some sort of free kind of advertorial for some of the restaurants?
Yeah. We do sometimes do also, what do you call them? Commercial cooperations with some companies.
Okay, all right.
This time with Fairside.
And with McDonald's. So send us some hamburgers, please.
There you go. I actually don't know too many names of the restaurants here, to be honest.
Yeah,
I don't.
Okay, maybe another question we don't know either, so there's not much we can help with.
No.
Regarding Oslo, but we know you also traveled a lot and probably will be traveling in the future. And so, can you share your approach or strategy for finding the best eateries when you're planning a visit to a new destination? So. How would you advise it? Because we also have some trips planned, but we don't have any restaurant bookings. So how do you usually approach this?
Do you usually not find good restaurants then? Or
we just usually don't plan in advance. Okay. It's the lack of planning. It's not the lack of
maybe
finding.
That's the thing, right? It's like you have to actually spend 5 minutes trying to find them, right?
Yeah, at least.
Yeah. Well, it depends a little bit on where you go, right?
Are you also always going for the local food, or are you kind of in big cities
it's gonna be
for
a
the
mix.
Ethnic food? Or
yeah, no, that's going to be a mix, depending on where you go, right?
Yeah.
Because in some places, local food is more interesting, right? So that is typically at least some of it is to go for local food. But then, of course, I'm celiac, so in some cases it can be a bit challenging in some countries, like pasta in Italy, pizza in Italy is not really for me. Bread in France is not for me, but that can usually be sorted out. But it's a simple way to do it, right? It's you Google a little bit. Oh, commercial for Google. Anyway, no, Google a couple of sites, best restaurants in the city, and usually the top ones kind of converge, right? So things that I mentioned. Do you usually go and
have a look at the website and the menu? And
I would typically do, right, and also kind of triangulate with a little bit of sort of other reviews from different sources and stuff like that. And
so the multi-method approach.
Exactly. That's always good, right? Triangulate a little bit and see if there's consensus, and then go for that. But then I guess when you use that method every time, you get a little sense for what is sort of your own standards in a way.
I've traveled much. He does spend a lot of time sort of finding his best restaurants. But let's go back to psychometrics.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's go back to restaurants after that.
Restrooms.
Yeah.
And some of the psychological tests are quite widely used in Finland and in Finland especially.
Mm-hmm.
And many of the male listeners would recognize, for example, the tests that they use in army to select people for officer roles and stuff like. I don't know what they do. And there's some weird items that sort of always come up in these discussions with men in the sauna after a couple of beers. And for example, they ask, "Would you like to be a florist?" I don't know what that means. And then, does a ring tighten your head? Now, Mats, does a florist make a good or a bad soldier? What's your take?
I don't know. I would think that it would be just the average person, right?
I don't know. They're asking for it.
I'm trying not to be prejudiced usually. So I would say that probably not a great predictor, I would think.
I think it would be a great predictor.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, I think it would be good. I've read all the Hunger Games books.
Mm-hmm. All right.
I'm very proud of that.
Yeah.
Big books, they're quite thick.
Yeah, exactly. Lots of flowers in there.
No, but if you read the Hunger Games books, you know that they have these games. They're quite hungry, and they need to find plants to eat.
Correct.
Exactly, and they have to kill each other. So they're soldiers. So if they find the plants, they don't die. So I think like being a florist could be a sign of a good soldier. Like that's how Katniss survives, because she knows all the plants and what to eat.
Right. Yeah. I think the most common in Sweden, sort of like the error people make when they pick mushrooms, right? It's like the white poisonous, I don't know what the name is in English, but
white poisonous mushroom.
Yeah, so it's kind of it's mistaken for being chanterelles.
Yeah.
And that's not great to kind of eat those instead.
So sorry for
makes sense.
H-Asselmoilainen podcastin mahdollistaa Asselmointi Oy. Asselmointi on 2020-luvun henkilöarviointiyritys. Ainoa asia, mitä teemme, ovat arvioinnit. Ne teemme kunnolla, mutta kivasti ja elämänmyönteisesti, ilman pönötystä.
Asselmoinnilla on 4 arvoa. Vahvuuspohjaisuus, olemme hysteerisen kiinnostuneita ehdokkaiden vahvuuksista. Kantaottavuus, suosittelemme ehdokkaita asteikolla, suositellaan tehtävään tai ei suositella tehtävään. Selkeää ja näppärää. Nopeus, teemme arvioinnit asiakkaan ja ehdokkaan aikataulujen mukaan. Keskimäärin arviointi valmis 3 vuorokaudessa tilauksesta. Viimeisenä elämänmyönteisyys. Tällaista rentoa meidän kanssa hommailu on, niin kuin täällä radiossakin kuulet.
Kaikki tiedot, hinnat, palvelut ja tilauslomakkeet löydät nettisivuiltamme asselmointi.fi. Mene sinne, emme tuhlaa aikaasi. What did you answer, Juho, to the question, would you like to be a florist?
I can't remember. I probably answered no.
Would you like to be a florist?
No.
No.
Why not?
That's the right answer there.
Well, I go to buy flowers quite often to my wife or some other relatives. And I see them at work, and it looks like a lot of work, and I'm quite sure, at least with the prices I pay, that it's not that good of a business. So maybe that's more of a pragmatic. based on my observations of what the work looks like.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's tough work.
Yeah, I like watching flowers, but the actual work is not about watching the flowers. It's about a lot of other things.
I think flowers are amazing. Like, I think they're good because you can give them, they look nice, they're quite big, like they give you a good feeling, and then you can put them in the bin.
I also have a psychometrics related question to Mats. So let's discuss, for example, latent trait theory or item response theory. These are one of the more modern approaches to, for example, estimating personality traits.
Right.
And it's highly useful, as we all know. It's statistically powerful, but the downside is that it's more difficult for regular people to understand what is happening, and for test vendors, it's more difficult to explain how the technology works.
Right.
Even to psychologists who have studied statistics and psychometrics on a university level, it's still difficult for them to understand it. And as a consequence, for example, in Finland, the Finnish Psychologist Association has recommended that psychologists as responsible professionals should only use normative tests.
Oh, really?
Where you have paper manuals that explain the scoring mechanism, so you would be always able to score it yourself if you needed to. Okay. So as an expert on this, what would you say to the Finnish Psychological Association?
Yeah.
Is this a good recommendation, or should they maybe consider revisiting it?
It might make sense to revisit it, right? Yeah, I mean, modern, yes. I mean, technically speaking, IRT has been around for many, many years. The general ideas, but then of course it's developed over time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of where the future is in a sense. However, under certain circumstances, it might not be that big of a difference in certain cases, but in general, you get an entirely different kind of take on your measurement. I mean, item response theory is a theory of the actual response processes and the mechanisms that go on when you make your judgment and so on. And in many other cases, it's actually not necessarily the case.
Yeah.
And it's quite useful when you construct tests as well to rely on these kinds of methods as a sort of getting different perspectives on things.
And it's not taught, at least on the master's level courses in Finland. Should psychology students or students who specialize, in Finland we have a 3-year specialization course for occupational or work psychologists, and no one mentioned item response theory. So I would say 95% of Finnish psychologists wouldn't even know what it means. Is it part of the kind of general knowledge that you should have as a psychologist who frequently uses psychometric tests, or is it just a novelty or peculiarity in a very niche field?
No, I would generally say that sort of like a conceptual level, everyone should kind of have an idea what it is, right? Yeah. I mean, if we look at it from a historical perspective, then of course most of the clinical assessments that are out there are scored with classical test theory. So in that sense, maybe, the needle is moving slowly, I guess, in a way.
Okay. Thank you for staying online. I think you're the only listener after we had an extended chat about item response theory. But
my favorite topic.
Exactly. But thank you for sticking in line. We lost all the other 22,000 listeners just in the last 2 minutes.
I think they're all busy Googling item response theory and trying to understand what it is.
Absolutely.
That's good, like Friday evening reading,
Yeah, get some beers,
exactly.
Open Wikipedia, get educated.
We could have called this person who still is listening to us. Okay, thank you for sticking out there. Hey, what's the future for the assessment world? What's the next big thing?
Oh, dude, I mean, if I knew, I wouldn't tell you just yet.
Well, that would be, it's just me, you, Juho, and the person who's
and
listening.
the one listener who's still there.
4 people.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's
going to be very tightly kept secret. Okay, what do you think might be the next sort of big thing?
No, I mean, what we've seen in a couple of past years is like the marriage of psychometrics and technology, and obviously that will continue. And exactly where that ends up, it's very difficult to say with with the new generative AI and all that kind of stuff. We don't know where that ends up.
Yeah.
So that's going to be hard to say. But nevertheless, it's sort of like the high quality standard assessments will definitely be around. They won't be replaced, or they won't go out of fashion. That's not going to happen.
When do we see projective tests being on computer? Like the Rorschach test. I'm showing Mats a picture of a moth from the ink blot test.
To be honest, I think they're already around, right, with generative AI. I haven't seen anyone trying to sell them for sort of like the occupational stuff yet. But
I love the sound.
There you go.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Some bass notes.
Okay, so there is some of these tests around. But
yeah, I mean, I've seen some labs trying to kind of create new Rorschach stuff with AI. I haven't seen sort of the actual outcomes or replications of that yet, but there definitely is. You get new technology. There's always going to be someone who plays around with it and trying to do some stuff.
What do you see in this ink blot, please?
I don't know, to be honest. It looks perhaps maybe like a weird type of troll.
Yeah, it's the fourth card in the Rorschach test. What do you see, Juha?
Well, obviously there's a raccoon on a motorcycle.
Yeah, it's almost the correct answer.
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
Rather skinny arms, though.
Yeah, no, it's a goblin driving motorcycle. Okay. Broom, broom.
Right.
Yeah, everyone knows that.
Absolutely, that's the right answer.
All right.
Yeah, you can score 2 points for that.
Absolutely, you're granted any job, and you are granted as a narcissist.
For me, when I want to get inspired regarding psychometric or selection, I always go for what they do in digital marketing, because I think where there is the biggest market or the most money, that's where the kind of development will be. And there is a lot of money in marketing, how to sell unnecessary shit to people.
Right.
So endless amounts of money are being poured to that. And I think they are really good in things like segmenting and targeting people based on technology nowadays. The algorithms of social media are a really good example. You only need to have a look at like 3 to 5 videos, and after that, the algorithm will know what kind of videos you're into and will keep feeding you. So there's sophisticated technology in that kind of identification, and my hypothesis would be that over time, let's say in 5 to 10 years, similar approaches might be adopted in the field of selection or assessment as well.
Possibly, yes.
But at least there's an opportunity to explore.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at some of the algorithms that are out there now, it's like a lot of it has been scraping public data, right? Because Facebook profiles and all that kind of stuff has been at least partially available. What we're seeing now is that all these vendors are kind of putting them behind paywalls, like LinkedIn and so on and so forth. So those kinds of services where you can kind of scrape the web entirely, that's going to be more difficult.
Yeah.
So in a sense, it will be very interesting to see what actually happens. Once you have the data, you're going to be reluctant to sell it to other people so they can capitalize on whatever utility you can have from it.
Yeah, for example, we could, for the Finnish working population, which is how much, maybe 2 million people, we could create a service for the kind of employability index of each Finnish citizen, and we can sell that information to employers. You want to know how employable Matti is? Just pay us 100 euros and we'll tell you. We have all the data on Matti.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, this will be available next week. So just hold on and give us.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's illegal, so that's the only hindrance. But yeah, we have to work around that.
There's a lot of good businesses that are not legal.
Yeah.
Such as
drugs,
human trafficking,
guns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, good means effective.
Personality tests.
Personality dates are not tests. I think it's not illegal to sell personality tests.
And people are really interested to know about their personality. Don't Scientologists also use it as a kind of a
At
way to
least the urban
lure in
myth
people.
is saying so. I don't know if it's actually true, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Free personality tests.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Come inside. Nothing to worry about. And then you leave the cult 5 years later.
Yeah. Okay, Mats, I've sort of understood that you've been sort of part of this new generation of building a new set of psychometric tools at Fairside.
Yeah.
So why another assessment company, and what does Fairside do better than anybody else?
Well, I mean, first of all, we're trying to actually we're making things. We're making actual steps towards living the vision of a more fair labor market and assessment space, in a sense. And what do we do? I mean, we look around what is out there, and we know from our own experience what we're missing from the market, and then we're trying to solve those problems. So building the entire portfolio today,
Yep.
and not having to sort of adjust to a legacy portfolio or something like that. We can start from scratch and building something that is coherent from the beginning, where all the products kind of hang together and the solution hangs together, and build call it an ecosystem where we can improve all the aspects of it. So you have the psychometric part of it that we can keep top notch, and we have the platform piece where we can build a modern platform without taking into consideration legacy clients, legacy this or that. But also we can work with sort of changing the way we see talent out there in all aspects of the sort of the assessment chain. So it's not only psychometrics, it's all those other pieces as well that we need to get right.
Yeah, and psychology and psychometrics have been, for the last forever, like white man's business. It's very white, male-dominated sort of ideas that are out there. And a lot of the tests sort of are geared to measuring white males' personalities. And I think there comes all the diversity, inclusion, accessibility into play, that you also include the vast majority of the human population who might not be white males.
Exactly.
Into the equation. And I think this is very important. Nobody is talking about the discrimination psychological tests do, because the science first is already skewed, and the results that we get and the way that we see people behave are sort of often geared from sort of us and not the bigger groups.
Yeah, and I mean that's. I mean, we think we can get further than what psychometrics has been able to achieve so far. Yeah. So we can get it better. It's not going to be always. It's not going to get perfect. I mean, that's kind of just the way it is. So then it's a matter of sort of acknowledging those imperfections and try to handle those with other measures around that. Be it sort of building a platform that takes into consideration these things to kind of compensate for that, or be it working together with practitioners out there to kind of equal the playing field in a sense, where the psychometrics might not be able to reach all the way.
Yeah, it's good that someone is at least trying to sort of make it a more fair playing field to all of us. What do you have in mind, Juho?
I'm thinking about the restaurants. So still trying to fish some good stuff out of mud, but on your kind of life, during the course of life, as you can see, I become useless after 4 p.m. So this happens every day. I can't be very sensible after.
You just
missed.
Missed your deadline. Yeah.
Yeah, but my question is that what are the best restaurants that you have visited, and what made
ever?
What made those visits so memorable? Share some details.
Okay. I don't know if I can remember them all, so I'm probably going to leave the room, and I should have thought about that one, right? Some of the top ones that I probably would typically mention. So if we take my hometown, Stockholm, had a very good experience at a restaurant called Etoile.
Yeah.
That's very good. it's a full menu, kind of tasting menu, kind of.
What was
deal.
the highlight of that? What can you remember?
The entire experience. Actually, I visited during the COVID.
Yeah.
And in Sweden we were a little bit more reasonable in certain
more
ways.
relaxed.
We could at least try to live our lives responsibly and not be locked up like little, But anyway,
the fact that there's no old people in Sweden.
Left anymore.
no.
Totally unrelated note.
Totally unrelated.
No, they've changed they changed the concept. So they have several different rooms. So you kind of moved around during the course of the meal. But one of the things I liked was that there were many courses. So it's like small courses, so it becomes a long experience. That's typically something I like with the kind of tasting menu type of deal. If we look at other countries, what do we have? Oslo, I think a place called Kontrast is always a good place. I don't know. I mean, I don't remember the names of the places, actually. I would have to look in some sort of history kind of
history
thing.
book.
Sometimes it's the smaller places, right?
Yeah.
So, it could be sort of a little sushi place somewhere, or just a genuine local little place in Tokyo, or even
it's an overall experience.
Even less exotic in that sense,
Many times, like yesterday when we were in a good restaurant, it's not only about the food, it's also about the service and the experience.
The show and the dance.
The show and the dance and the bells and the whistles
There you
are
go.
also very important, like in psychometrics as well.
Yeah.
Is there like a secret behind psychometric tests that you want to sort of reveal so people get better results?
What would that be?
Oh, that's what I'm asking.
The secret code.
It's like a cheat code.
What does a better result mean?
Like, for example, in an ability test, 70 percentile is better than 34 percentile.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
The personality test, a little bit more difficult.
No, that's a little bit trickier.
I think there's better personalities out there, that make life easier for yourself.
Right. And you know a bad one when you meet one, right?
Absolutely. Well, for example, if you have very high neuroticism, so that's not great for yourself nor anybody else.
It can be challenging, but they are part of the population as well, and they seem to work out.
Just chill. That's my advice, eh?
Try to relax.
Exactly. There's funny questions in personality tests when we got no sort of good advice on the ability tests. For example, I think there's a test called Personality Research Form, PRF, and it asks you, do you enjoy touching statues? So what does that mean? Like, why would anybody...
That's an interesting one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if I usually do that either.
But what would be a profession where touching statues would be a benefit?
Well, did you see the what is that? Ape Jesus?
Ape Jesus.
Ape Jesus. Yeah, it was that restoration down in Spain, right? Where it was someone who was going to restore some painting of Jesus.
Okay.
And the critics say that it looks like an ape afterwards because it totally destroyed it. It basically looks like a child's painting afterwards, right?
So if you make statues...
He might not be totally interested in statues. I don't know.
Exactly. Maybe, okay, if you work with statues, if you create statues...
Then it might be relevant.
Then you want to sort of touch them as well. Or maybe removal firms or moving companies.
But Matti, you have to remember that not all personality inventories are work-life oriented. So... Exactly. PRF, for example, is also used for like clinical profiling.
It's true.
Maybe it's a marker of some kind of tendency or condition that might be clinically interesting, not so much interesting in a work-life setting.
Narcissism.
Narcissism.
But there's a lot of statues in here in Oslo. Like there's a whole
There are
park.
loads of them.
Yeah,
I love
there's
it.
weird statues. Like, have you seen the one that somebody kicks a child? That's like the weirdest
Is
statue.
that in Vigeland Park?
Yeah, that's in Englund Park.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I've probably seen it, but I haven't thought of it.
They have a lot of statues.
yeah.
Weird Norwegians.
Exactly. There you can touch the statues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there anybody interested in that? Welcome to Norway.
Or go fill PRF.
Exactly. Anything, Mats, you want to tell us about personality tests and their development in the recent years? I'm becoming very useless. It's 4:05 and I'm
It's kind of,
dropping my mic as well.
yeah.
Maybe we'll call it a day.
We will.
Thank you, Mats. We'll see you in America, in Psyop.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good trip, and there's going to be a lot of good, interesting things. And I heard you're going to be presenting, so anybody who wants to hear more about Mats and his work, come and fly to America.
We'll be there to give you a big round of applause.
Exactly.
That sounds awesome.
And thank you for the one listener left to listen to the end of the episode after we dropped you all at the IRT point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you.
Go look up item response theory.
Exactly.
You'll thank us later.
Everybody
You can do
loves
it.
item
Yeah, it's
response theory.
Tuesday today, so you have a couple of days to find the links. So you
Super.
can read it Friday evening.
Thank you, Mats.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.